Hello, everybody. It has been so long. 3 whole weeks. But the time has arrived. Table Scraps is back. And hopefully will continue to be a weekly thing from now on. Starting off, thank you for the subscription, Faceless. We appreciate you. Hello, Jesse. It's nice to have you, even though you can't stay. Just the same goes for you, Faceless. It's a pleasure to have you around. Maz, Handskate, hello. Welcome back to Table Scraps. As answer to how my teeth doing? Doing great. So if you didn't know, reason that we've been gone the past 3 weeks, first week I had my wisdom teeth removed, and I was like, I'm not gonna do Table Scraps. Second week, some personal stuff came up. Wasn't feeling very good. So took that week off. And then last week, I was all prepped to do Table Scraps. And Grant was like, do you want to go throw a frisbee around and maybe play some racquetball and or volleyball? And I was like, heck yeah, I do. And so then I didn't do Table Scraps. But we are back with plenty of stuff to talk about since we have not been here for the past couple of weeks. So first off, I have the standard regular plugs to do. So let's see if I remember how to do these. All right, first off, we have social medias: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. They are there. They are technically functioning. No new content is being generated through them because I am bad at it. But theoretically, I will be better eventually. So keep an eye out for there. We also have a website, www.thepaperdungeon.com, where we have a merch store. We can buy merch that has our logo on it and other cool things like that. We also have a Discord where you should definitely stop on by. That's the only way that you'll know when I actually go live with Table Scraps, because it changes depending on the day and whether or not I work in the morning and stuff like that. It's also just a pretty cool place where you can hang out and talk to some pretty cool people. Speaking of stores, I'm gonna jump back a little bit there. The wonderful Lydia Corinne, who does all of our art, all of our overlays, all of our in-between screens, all of our character art, pretty much anything that would require graphic design is done by Lydia, so definitely check out her store because she is very good at what she does, and it does a bunch of cool stuff. You can also commission art from her. She sells pillows and all sorts of things. So go help Lydia pay rent. Let's see. Other than that, I suppose the only thing left is if you want to support us in other ways, there are plenty of ways you can do that. We have a Ko-Fi, we have a Streamlabs donation, and we also have a Patreon. I feel like there's a fourth one there that I'm missing, but the Patreon's pretty rad. We release an extra monthly episode, and theoretically I will be updating and having more things that the Patreon does throughout the year. So if you want some cool extra content, I think that we do a pretty good job. This evening, actually, we're going to be recording one of our Patreon episodes, which I'm going to be DMing for. So there's a chance that I probably won't go for 2 hours on this stream, just because I need all the time in the world to make sure that everything's prepped and ready for that. So now to the actual recap of what exactly is going on. So let me get all prepped. Let's see. Last we left off, I'm not sure if we were in Pandemonium, but I'm going to start in Pandemonium and go from there. We were in Pandemonium to find the Plains of Illaver, so that way we could locate a soul trinket to get back a dead guy for a friend of ours who previously resurrected a friend that had died, Melora. Spoiler if you're super early in the campaign, Melora doesn't stay around forever. Spoiler warning in general if you're early in the campaign, this is current stuff. So, we're in a Pandemonium, we're looking for the Plains of Illaver, we find it. In the process of finding it, Abinthy, my character, gets mind wiped. doesn't know pretty much anything about why he's there or who anyone else is. He knows who he is, and that's it. So, when they all get sucked into a glowing orb of light and are asked a question, "What do you seek?" Abinthy's question gets him kicked out of the glowing orb of light, and he straight up skedaddles out of Pandemonium because he is under attack from Shadowhounds, but we'll get back to him later. Ooh, Drew might be joining us, so keep an eye out for that. Don't you worry about a thing. So, Abinthy skedaddles on out of Pandemonium. The rest of them end up in a version of the Plains of Illaver as it was before the trial occurred and everything got super jacked up. So it's simultaneously like peaceful but also kind of spooky because everyone's like silent and dead. So they travel through and eventually find a rather interesting kind of conundrum, which we will talk about more in a couple of seconds, because Drew said that he is ready to join us. So I'm going to real quick, I'm going to go to the break screen. Don't worry, I'm still going to be talking. But I will return shortly once Drew has joined us. It's been a day. I worked this morning. Whew. Like, I love the whole work stuff, but man, does it tire me out. All right. Now I need to go to... Perfect. And bam. I'm getting so much better at this. Pretty impressed with myself, I ain't even gonna lie. This is going pretty dang well. Howdy, Drew. They can't hear you at the moment. Alright. I'm making it so that they can hear you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your voice can be heard and they can see you.
Hello, friends.
You're also really quiet, and for some reason it's not coming through. Can you say something real quick?
Oh,
wait, no,
I'm
it is
quiet.
coming through. Is
Here,
that alright?
make sure.
Is that?
I mean, I can. Well, actually, I don't know if I can get myself.
I don't know why you're so quiet for me.
Here,
But,
give me.
Hey,
Well,
hey,
here, let me make sure that none of my weird settings are on.
deal. Maz, Handskate, how is Drew coming through for you guys? Because if it's loud enough, I can manage. Drew is loud on our ends? Okay, well, it's going fine for them.
Well, that's good.
Sometimes I think my headphones just hate life.
Life in general, or just your life?
Yes. It can do both.
All right. It has that power.
So, let's see, where was I? Drew. I was just talking about the party going into the previous plains of Illaver and locating the soul trinket or whatever of a guy who is
Clovar.
not Zood's Thrim, but for some reason I want to say his name is Zood's Thrim.
Clovar.
Clovar, yes. To find the soul of Clovar. And there's a couple of interesting things about that, which I know that you and your character have a lot of understanding about.
Mm-hmm.
Probably better than I do. So, if I remember correctly, it was a pair of swords that was next to a tarum tree and had a little like trinket keychain of a tarum fruit gilded in the fancy metal. Mithril?
Not mithril.
Not mithril. It's the stuff that isn't what Wolverine's claws are made of.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Well, then see. Here's the thing, right? There's a lot of fancy metals in this particular D&D world because there's like there's Audronite, there's Frustrucium,
Mm-hmm.
and there's also like the other one that the cage is made out of. I'm
Adamantine.
No, it's not that one.
What do you mean it's not that one?
Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna find it. Give me 1 second. I'm looking through my notes right now.
There's only so many fancy metals in the game. It's either mithril, adamantine, or
Well,
Vestrusium.
I know, but that's why I'm saying it's like homebrew materials that for
I
the world.
I thought that it was adamantine.
Um, hold on.
I
Hold
think
on.
Handskate's right on this one. My
I
money's
wanna
on
find
that.
it. Uh,
This is the part of the stream where Drew looks through all the books that he owns.
right? He frantically looks through his notes in order to find
Mm-hmm.
find something. Okay, let's see.
Uh-huh. Man, this whole filling airtime is a journey.
I know, right? It's just a really great time.
Well, anyway, while Drew figures out what
Well,
type
well,
of
yeah.
metal
While you do that,
it's gilded in, all of those things have a fair bit of importance to, I mean, kind of the whole party, but especially to the wonderful Paladin Cather, where all of those, I believe, are symbols
Vasperite.
of what?
That's what it is. Vasperite.
Oh, it's Vasperite?
Yeah.
I did not think it was Vasperite. That coded the thing. I could have sworn it was adamantine. But I'll allow it. Because I thought Vasperite was the special metal that we needed to resurrect people.
It was a special metal that's used for like the ritual.
Yeah, but I didn't think
For,
that that's what the item was covered in.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's right.
We'll
I mean,
have to
I
double
might be
check.
wrong, but we could. It's a very special metal
Yeah,
trinket
it's
that
a
is
special
made out
fancy
of
metal
one of 6
that does
like
stuff and things.
impenetrable metals that exist in this world.
Yeah, so many fancy metals. But anyway, yeah. So all of those are symbols or related to your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who for the life of me, what's her name?
Atrasil.
Atrasil. I knew it started with an A. I knew that. But yeah, which is that. I mean, that's an interesting
It's an
situation,
interesting
right?
connection. Yeah. Well, and I think even more importantly, it's not even like because I think from what I've attempted to gather and understand, like she isn't intrinsically Atrasil isn't necessarily connected to Clovar so much as Clovar is connected to Atrasil's father. So,
Yes.
which I find very interesting.
Dude, what
Especially
if
because
what if we just like resurrected your father-in-law? We didn't know.
dude, I'd be so down.
Like, sup?
Let's do it.
I'm marrying your daughter. And he's like, no, you're not. Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? I don't care if you're the champion of death. Get out of here.
Get over it. I'm gosh dang Clovar. You got nothing on me. So there's that whole conundrum that we have to deal with.
Funny.
But following that, you guys managed to get out of old-timey, happy, fun times Plains of Illaver.
Yeah.
After seeing a rather disturbing vision of the end of all days.
Yep.
Something along that line.
And a new understanding of just how terrible the trial was.
Yeah, that was pretty sucky. And then you get out, and everyone's like, well, shoot. How do we leave this place?
Because our good boy Abinthy was not around due to a small madness effect.
Yeah, just a slight one, just a long term, not a
minor
it's not
setback.
Even permanent. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
right. It's fine. Now you do manage to find your own way out of there through a very convoluted process of if you banish this person. And then you banish Renaya. Renaya gets Grotz to come pick you guys up, take the kiddies to school. And then that like works, but also it works in like the worst possible way, where you guys all head back except for Renaya, who gets randomly banished to a place that is not Gambit's Keep.
Mm-hmm.
And so she ends up finding herself in her family's old campsite. Not old, it's been recently lived in, with a letter to her from her family members, her grandpa specifically, that's like, "Hey Renaya, I just want you to know, like, it's okay. You can come home whenever you'd like. We'd be happy to have you back. And, you know, we really miss you."
Yeah.
Like a bunch of creeps.
Yeah. Like a bunch of weirdos.
And so, in the meantime, when you guys go and find Renaya, Abinthy is having his own journey. AKA, he has teleported to the material plane and ends up at his old, like, living place, alongside his one of his few remaining friends, Yorwick, a Goliath smith, who Abinthy had talked a little bit about when it came to repairing or reforging Cather's blade.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Abinthy does not know who Yorwick is, so a slight amount of confusion and conversation ensues, but we eventually manage to cure Abinthy of his madness, which is like the good-bad result, because Abinthy now like remembers everything, and that's really sucky.
Like,
But
oh man, now I understand why like this guy might hate me.
oh yeah, shoot.
Dang it.
And now I'm going to leave him again, because I also realized that I already left my other teammates, and I should probably go make sure that they aren't getting mauled to death in the plane of pandemonium.
Yeah. Although kudos to you for getting back there so quickly.
Let me tell you, Abinthy's on it.
Yeah, because like the fact that you got there right as we left, you know, that's
I was zooming.
If we, you know, we just needed to wait just a little bit longer, you know.
Absolutely zooming. But yeah, just as you said, Drew, I teleport back and I literally see everyone else leave. I talk a little bit to Grandmother, the dragon that has helped us on our stay, figure out what needs to be done to break her out of there, and then teleport back to Gambit's Keep, where I find the group, and I'm like, "Hey guys, we gotta go." And they're like, "We don't have Renaya." I'm like, "Why don't you have Renaya?"
It's like, well,
we go, we pick up Renaya, and then teleport everyone over to Yorwick's place at the top of a mountain, and things get rather tense in a lot of different directions. Abinthy has a conversation with Yorwick that doesn't go... It goes as Abinthy expected, which is not great. Yorwick is basically like, "Yo, where's Talanashta?" And Abinthy's like, "She's dead. I killed her." And Yorwick's like, "I'm sorry, what?"
What?
Gets a little bit angry.
Excuse me?
Reasonably angry. And then Abinthy's like, "Don't worry though, I'm going to get her back." And Yorwick's like, "No, that's messed up." And Abinthy's like, "No, you're messed up." And things just kind of downward spiral from there. But basically, the summary of it is, okay, if you're going to do this, it better work. And also, I never want to see you ever again. And Abinthy's like, "Understandable. I'm sad about it." In the meantime, Renaya heads up to her room and contacts her grandparents using the message spell. I think it's a message spell.
Sending.
And is like, "Yo, what's this letter?" And her grandpa's like, "It's exactly what it looks like. It's a letter. We'd love for you to come home. We love and miss you and respect you as a person." And Renaya's like,
Hold on. I smell sus.
"Didn't you stab me?" Well, not like you specifically, but like, I'm pretty sure I have been stabbed. Like at least once. And they're like, "No, it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge. It's fine." So Renaya is basically like, look, guys, we gotta go talk to my fam. And we're like, okay, when you say talk, what do you mean? And she's like, well, hopefully, I mean talk. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure if talk would be exactly where things end up.
Right, yeah. It might progress further than talking,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. Physical violence might ensue. And we're like, bet. So, there is a brief moment of time where before that happens, Abinthy also talks with Edward, and I think someone probably talks to someone else. Stuff happens. Renaya and Abinthy briefly talk. It doesn't go incredibly well. Because Abinthy's hurting. He's hurting. Hurts deep. He's wounded.
Wounded deep in his soul.
But yeah, we head to Renaya's family's route, I guess. Their camp.
Yeah, they're like one of many camps.
Yeah, they're nomadic residents. The group agrees to go in, except for Abinthy, who's like, look, if things are going to go bad, I'm going to be prepped on the outside.
Which, by the way, you prepped fantastically.
Thank you. I was like, if I go in there, I don't expect that I'm going to be able to do a whole lot, and we don't know how tough these people are. Mm-hmm. It's probably more of an asset for us if we have someone that they don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a prep. I'm a prepper. I'm a preppy boy. Renaya goes in.
Abinthy went to prep school.
Yeah, Abinthy is absolutely a prep. Not a doubt in my mind. Abinthy's a prep. He's like the prep who hangs out with the skaters though. And you're like, that does not track.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't.
I don't know what to tell you. So Renaya goes and talks to her family, mainly her grandfather and her husband. Things don't go great.
Yeah, she tries really hard though to give credit where credit's due. Like, man,
really tries. Is like realistic, and like is like, hey, this is what hell looks like, and they're like, that seems legit. Yeah. And she's like, what is wrong with you? They're like, nothing. We're right and you're wrong. She's like, literally, that's incorrect. But she tries really hard to get them to not be a terrible, terrible cult. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, she does end up having to kill her grandfather, and then we end up having to fight her husband, who we do some damage to, and then Renaya almost gets like murdered.
Yep.
And then the squad rolls up. Abinthy activates his trap cards.
That's right.
Says a cool line. Standard Abinthy stuff.
Yeah.
And then we just absolutely rip Renaya's husband to shreds.
Yeah. And Edward gets the final blow with his sword.
Yes. Edward gets the final blow like a hero.
Yeah. Proud of that boy.
But yeah. That happens, and we end that episode there. Then we go on to the next one. I remember this specifically. Has it been more than 3 weeks since I did table scraps? It feels like longer. Has it been 4?
Well, okay. So, and it's also kind of weird because we didn't stream a main campaign episode this past Monday.
Yeah.
Because it was. Oh shoot. Well, here let's just look at the Discord here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, 3. It's been. So, let's see. So the 23rd of Feb.
It's been.
There wasn't a table scraps because you just had your wisdom teeth removed.
Mm-hmm.
and then on March 2nd, uh, you were sick and had a bunch of stuff you had to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I was playing
March 13th,
volleyball or
or
something
not
on
March
this.
13th, March 9th, Grant had ensorcelled you into physical activity.
Yes, that is
Whatever.
what happened.
Does that now is that code for you guys were playing racquetball?
It was a combination. We threw a frisbee around and then we played some volleyball.
Oh, okay.
Worth
And then
it.
now
No
we're
regrets.
here. Now
we're here.
So
But yeah, so the episode ends after we kill Renaya's husband. The next episode picks up after that.
yep.
As the logical progression of time works. Basically, we spend a bunch of time burying the bodies and kind of doing respecting the dead and whatnot.
Yeah.
Abinthy and Cather and
Gratz was there briefly.
Huh?
Gratz was there briefly,
Oh,
which
yes,
may or may
Gratz
not
was there as well.
which may or may not cause issues for the future.
I'm sure
but
it
we'll
will
find
have
out.
absolutely zero repercussions in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Totally none. It's fine.
Totally no issues.
But yeah, so we bury the bodies and take care, and then we basically it was our progress episode where we're like, all right,
dude. I was pushing hard, dude.
We've got all these side quests.
We have all these side quests and main quests that we gotta start checking off.
Gotta do them all. And so anything that was not like a main quest line, we were like, all right, we can check that off of our book. All right, okay. How about so in this episode, we're going to take an oath. We're going to start a war with Dragonkind. We're gonna go shopping.
So immediately after burying the dead of Renaya's cult people, we went back to Gam's Keep and tried to recollect ourselves, be like, all right, what's our next steps? And we were talking as a party, and we realized, oh, we have what it takes to make an Arkenflower.
Yes.
Let's do that. That way we can free to Vut, Grandma Dragon, and straight up cause some chaos with the dragons. Because we don't like the
thing that can end up with bad results.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we do that.
And that takes 24 hours to fully do.
Yeah.
So it takes some effort. Yeah. So in that 24 hours, we do a couple of other things. And then and the eventual goal is to end up going to the Valley of Kings.
Right.
In this next episode, I think is where we're at.
Yes.
In the meantime, Cather's like, guys, if we're going to take a vacation, I know a place. I've my own island.
We're taking a couple days. You need a weekend getaway.
Yep.
I got a place.
I've got a spot. I don't know what else to say. So Cather teleports us to his private cool island. Like a rich guy.
Honestly, that is actually something that I do find greatly amusing. Of like, if we ever went to Rivaluna and interacted with within society of Rivaluna, how would people react to Cather?
Yeah, where you're
because
royalty.
I've never specified so Cather's family, the Ebenthar family, are technically a family of nobles.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they have a long tradition and history of partaking in roles of government and power within both small and large. It kind of just varies on the generation on what they pursue. But I have no idea how actually if he's a minor noble, if he's really high up there.
If you're walking through the streets and people are bowing. That kind of situation. I couldn't tell you.
So it would be hilarious. We show up to the capital city of Rivaluna, and Edward's like, "Yes, hello, I am Edward, leader of Oclaron and Athala," and it's everyone's just like, "Dude, is that Cather?"
Oh my god! Everyone's bowing, and Edward's like, "Finally, someone who gets it." Finally, they understand. But so we head to your
Anyway.
private island, your rich
Yep.
person private island.
Yep.
For a little bit of R&R, and some violence.
Somebody.
Because Abinthy's like, yo, Cather, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
Abinthy seduces you to be in alone with him.
Uh-huh.
He's like, hey.
Well, and I suppose it should be stated, this is after took some time and Cather retook his oath.
Shoot, yeah, I forgot that happened before this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cather retook his oath.
Yeah,
Got a sick new breastplate.
Yep.
And his armor is shiny again.
Got some cool stuff.
Yeah, straight up ready to go in. And now in 8 days, I can go pick up a sword.
Ooh, baby. We need to make sure that you have a temporary one in the meantime.
Well, I mean, I do have a just normal,
Do you have, like,
ordinary
a normal
longsword.
Because it would be real awkward if, like, we had to go fight something and you just are like, all right.
Honestly,
bucko.
I was thinking about this the other day of like it would be really hilarious but also kind of awkward. Like we roll up to like the Valley of Kings, right, and start fighting people, and like since we know like one of the masked people are there, they like show up and start fighting the party, whatever, and like Cather's just plain ordinary longsword just doesn't do anything, or just like gets broken and shattered or whatever. And it's just like, well, crap.
On the ground. Ha!
Although, if that were to happen, if like Cather's like temporary ordinary sword were to break, it would be kind of funny because then he would just from the bag of holding just be like, all right, well, this is the only other sword I got, so I guess I'll use it. And he's just gonna pull out the sword of vengeance that that they've been holding on to so long.
It finally comes into play.
the one item we have never used, but Aaron has not letting me get rid of because of Chirac.
I won't allow it. That sword is important. It's all in the plans, Drew.
Although Chirac isn't around anymore, so now I could get rid of it.
Don't ruin my plans, Drew. Don't ruin my plans for that sort of vengeance.
Secretly, Abinthy is going to multi-class into Wizard again. He's gonna multi-class into Wizard. That way he can take a second subclass in Wizard, and do the Bladesinger.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll use the Sword of Vengeance.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I can just take weapon proficiency, and just use.
I suppose that is true, but then you don't get like any of the fancy abilities.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
But I mean, yeah, I guess you don't really need fancy abilities since you already have Mythcarver.
Here's the thing, Drew. There's a spell, Tensor's Transformation, which allows you to equip heavy armor and martial weapons. Could you imagine him just straight up rolling up like, hello, I'm Abinthy.
We just like Abinthy just out of nowhere just starts like trying to like work out and train with Cather.
Yeah, dude.
Just to perfect like this.
He has magic
spell.
for that. No.
It's just like, all right, Cather, look, I know you don't understand, but I need you to carry this full extra suit of plate mail and sword just in case I ever need it.
You never know.
It's like, why would you need that? You can't wear this.
It's training for you. It will increase your strength gains by climbing mountains with an extra suit of plate mail.
And then someday, Abinthy is going to yell out to Cather. It's like, Cather, now's your time. As he just hulks out, you know. His skin starts to turn green.
Starts throwing people off, starts dealing 40-10 force damage on a hit of a sword, which is a real thing. Tensor's Transformation, legitimately underrated spell. I'm going to say it.
It's a great spell,
It's a
honestly.
spell.
It's hilarious.
It does stuff.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah.
Cather's oath is taken. Takes a great time.
Abinthy and Cather talk to each other, and it's basically like, hey, I need you to judge me, and for once I need you to not be a good person, because it would make me feel worse if you were. And Cather's like, all right, hit me. And Abinthy's like, I've lied to you about everything I've ever done. I am a terrible person, and I deserve to be beaten and thrown behind the wagon. And Cather's like, yeah, Abby's like, what is wrong with you people?
See, here's the funny thing about it, right? If the only reason Cather reacted the way he did isn't even because he necessarily likes Abinthy, it's purely because Abinthy told him.
Mm,
Because clearly Abinthy doesn't think very highly of himself, but the fact that he wants to tell the truth to Cather now shows that Abinthy there is a decency to Abinthy enough that Cather can
it's
respect and be like,
called guilt.
yeah, hey,
um,
the feeling of guilt means that you know that you did something wrong. So
yeah. And Abinthy is just frustrated that no one else is as frustrated with Abinthy as Abinthy is. He's like, I am a bad person. Why are you not angry with me? Like, do something. Um, so
and
that's a
so
fun.
eventually Cather does hit him.
Yes, thank God. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
Just,
that's so much effort. I'm like, hit me. I want you. I need to explain. So, the reference that I think people thought I was making was to the Joker. Where he's like, hit me. I want you to hit me.
hit me.
I wasn't. Have you ever heard of the TV channel Boomerang?
No, I haven't.
It is, or at least it used to be before it was acquired by Disney. It was a TV channel that only ran old cartoons. Um, and
I suppose that makes sense with the name Boomerang. It's coming back.
yeah, come back around. And so on Boomerang, also thank you, Maz, for knowing. And yes, it has been acquired by, I think I want to say Disney Channel. So now it runs old Disney Channel stuff, and it's much worse than it used to be. But instead of commercials, it would have like little cartoons that would run in between shows, just little snippets of things. And I can't remember the name of it, but one of them was something along the lines of like Free the Gator or something like that. And it was about an alligator who was, oh, is it? Yeah, I don't know. They run Disney stuff on it now. But it was about an alligator in a zoo. And a bunch of like wildlife activists show up and they're like, this gator deserves to be in the wild where his home is. And the gator's like, I don't think you understand. I like it here. I get free food and I get to like what's it called? I get to like surf and stuff. I have my own boat. I love it here. And they're like, nope, we're taking you to the wild. So they take him to the jungle and it's horrible there. Everything is bad. It's scary and dark and dangerous.
Uh-huh.
And the best part about this thing, because eventually like the alligator's like, well, if you want to be here, if you love the wild so much you can stay here, steals their car and drives away and leaves them in the jungle. But there's this little monkey in the middle of a lake on a lily pad who, I don't know why it has stuck with me since I was a kid. I love this monkey. All it does is it's sitting on a lily pad and it's shaking its fist and it just goes, eat me! I want you to eat me! You're messing with the order! Don't go messing with the order! Eat me! And that's his entire content in this little skit. And I used to yell that all the time when I was younger. And that is the exact emotion that I had where it's like, hit me! I want you to hit me! You're messing with the order! Hit me! Really, and then at the end of the cartoon, it like fades to black, and then a little circle opens up around the monkey, and it gets eaten.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the reference that I was making that I knew no one would understand.
It's well, and honestly, that is hilarious and totally you to like have some random obscure,
very niche thing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. However, going back to that conversation though, I honestly really love that conversation just because like for one thing, at least for Cather, he did gain like a new respect for Abinthy. But it also really showed like just the difference on how Abinthy and Cather think, which is not surprising, but kind of hilarious. Cause Aaron?
No, I can still hear you. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Cause like part of Cather's mindset, right? And this is also just a little bit of me being in Cather, of like the whole point of discipline and punishment is to make somebody realize, like, hey, what you did something that was wrong, and this is the repercussions because you did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But because Abernathy already knows that he did something wrong, he doesn't need to be punished because he's already punishing himself, basically.
Yeah, and
So,
Abernathy hates that.
and so it's just like, dude, why do you want me to punch you like you already know you did something horrible and you feel terrible about it. I don't need to hit you and make you
Yeah,
feel more
because
terrible.
I have wounded you, and if you had wounded me, I would want to hit you. Because Abernathy, and this is another one of those things that has been really prevalent in the past several episodes, and he brought up slightly with you in that conversation of Abernathy is not a hero.
Right, right, 100%.
In comparison to like Cather and Edward and Renaya, like their party are heroes. So when they see someone, like when someone does them wrong, their automatic instinct is not, I'm going to get my revenge.
Right.
For Abernathy, that is absolutely his immediate first thought. Anything that gets in Abernathy's way and is like, oh, you have wounded me or you've hurt something that I care about, he's like, all right, scorched earth. That's what we're going for. Immediate, like, nuke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there, it was like, oh, you have tripped me in the hallway? I will cut off your legs. Like, there is no holding back. It is instant revenge. So for Abernathy, it is so difficult to be around the party because things will happen and Abernathy's like, oh my god, this is the time to act. And everyone's like, that's okay. They can be better. And Abernathy's like, what is wrong with you people? What is going on?
What do you mean?
Just do something. Hit me. You're messing with the order. Like, he's like blown away. And it's really kind of opening his eyes over time where he's like it's a slow burn. And I really do think that by the end of it, Abernathy will learn to kind of slow down and not be so immediately reactionary and defensive. Right. Because in Abernathy's life has been basically one big battle where it's him against everything else in the world.
Right. And if you don't act fast enough, you die.
Yeah. That's why he has the alert feat. It's literally to get that idea across of Abernathy almost has, I wouldn't call it PTSD, but something similar along those lines where it's like Abernathy is still in a war zone at all waking parts of time in the day. Mm-hmm. So anything happens and he's like, I'm being shot at. I gotta kill or be killed. Mm-hmm. When that's not always the case.
Yeah.
And so it's strange and difficult for Abernathy at this time, but it talking with Cather definitely did help. After the conversation with Cather,
I was just gonna say, I hope that Cather and Abernathy can have a few more, kind of good, decent conversations like that one, because like, I mean, you did this purposely, so giving Abernathy characteristics that allow him to relate to the party members, that way he can connect easier, mm-hmm. while still being very different, as we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But the analogy with the war zone I find very fascinating, because Cather doesn't feel that way anymore, but definitely used to feel that way, mm-hmm. which I find greatly fascinating.
Oh yeah.
And we'll see if that ever comes up in game and conversation or
we'll never know.
But
I mean, we will know eventually.
When the campaign is over, we will know if that conversation did or did not happen.
If anything ever happens. But after the conversation with Cather, Abernathy, one, does reveal another one of the things that he's been kind of hiding, especially from Cather. Mm-hmm. Where the informant that he has to gain information as to where to find Talanosh's soul, mm-hmm.
is
Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine mm-hmm. Hells and creator of all things evil.
Yeah.
Which Abernathy has kind of been like, okay.
just a real fun guy.
I know that these people deal with a lot of not great things all the time, and sometimes are even very close with them. And sometimes that turns out well, sometimes it doesn't. Asmodeus is not on the same level as that.
Yeah.
Right, where it's like, yeah, everyone summoned a little demon to be friends with or something. There's so many warlocks out there who have demons and devils as patrons or familiars. Lord of and creator of all things evil and villainous
Mm-hmm.
is like, that's not something that you brag about
Yeah.
to like your friends who are like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out with Asmodeus on
Yeah,
Thursday.
guys, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
see
no,
Asmo, good old Papa Asmo.
absolutely, and especially not if your friends are the literal emissary of the person that Asmodeus killed.
Yeah, yeah, the idea, like the connections, with our party is very interesting because, yeah, with Cather you have the newly appointed champion of death,
Mm-hmm.
who's one of his masters is the person he killed, Asmodeus
Yep.
killed at the beginning of Pandemonium. So not great feelings there.
Not
And then you
great.
also have Renaya, who is, uh, well,
Basically, an
see,
enemy general.
Although Renaya is a little bit different because like she's the Halak, which is seen as the ultimate enemy of the devils. However, how the prophecy may or may not manifest might even actually be the savior of the devils, which is kind of weird, which is kind of interesting to think about.
Well, yeah, and even besides the Halak thing, she's a demon prince.
Yeah, that is also,
So it's
that is also
like,
fair. She is a demon prince
it's
and
basically
married
like,
to another
okay,
demon prince.
sup, Asmodeus, I brought with me the champion of your fated enemy and the general of your largest opposition.
And there's also Dave.
And yeah, and there's my friend. This is Edward. He's a pretty normal dude, all honesty. Um,
By comparison, he's a lord of a city, but compared to my
but
other
like,
two friends,
yeah,
he's kind of just a
I'm so
normie.
excited for Edward to be the only one who lives at the end of this. I'm ecstatic. You have no idea. Um, but yeah, so we talk to my girlfriend,
Yep.
and she's like, "Dog, my dad is not cool," and I'm like, "Go on." And she's like, he does these things, and Abinthy's like, "I think that's actually pretty cool." Like, I hate to say it, turns out I love this guy. This is like my third favorite NPC in the campaign.
Yeah, dude, you guys
He's
get
legit.
along great.
Abinthy and him get along great.
I will admit, so Cather's initial reaction to Abinthy being like, "Yeah, my informant's Asmodeus," like he was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, like I'm not upset with Abinthy about that, really at all. It's kind of weird and dangerous, but whatever. And then he gets there, and I literally the only thing going through my head, like just instinctually, I'm just like, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
I want, like, literally, it took every fiber of Cather's will to not just go at this guy swinging,
Yeah,
and
and
then just instantly get killed.
see, okay, so that is how Abinthy thinks that you should view him.
See, there's no redeeming qualities about Asmodeus.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of things behind it, but yeah, Abinthy's like, I don't know, I kind of vibe with this guy. He's to the point. He's direct. He knows what he wants. He's willing
Yeah.
to make a deal. He respects boldness. I'm in.
Yeah,
Am I probably getting screwed in the end? Absolutely.
probably.
But
Yeah.
so is Asmodeus, probably, if I'm doing my job right.
Also, so speaking of the deal, right? So we're asked to find this guy who
Yes.
apparently is on a ship in the astral sea or something.
Yep. He's on a. Also, hello,
Marcus
anchored Anki.
Marcus Steele.
Marcus Steele. Yes.
I am willing to bet money he is another like wizard person similar to what's her bucket in the in between.
Perfect. I hope that it's a great person. Like a super nice, and good person who, like, on the off days feeds homeless people and runs an orphanage. And Abinthy won't care.
Abinthy won't care.
Not a moment. So do you think that they're on the sacrifice list?
Potentially.
Maybe.
I looked back just to double check. It's not obviously one of the two names that we know of for sure.
Yeah.
Because we only got two names off the sacrifice list. But honestly, I'm willing to bet, given the fact that Abinthy proceeded to afterwards try and find out any info he could about this guy via legend lore, and it came up with nothing. The only time that happened was with the other lady. I forget her
with
name.
what's her face, Lord of the Void or whatever. Yeah. I think that's a fair guess. Abinthy doesn't care.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
I'm very excited if it is like if we get there and it's like a good person, it's like a super holy, devout person who's like a great, just all around being, and everyone's like, okay, Abinthy, but like this is like a good person for the universe. You can't just give him to Asmodeus. I'm like, I don't care. Tension ensues.
And then
but yeah,
the party falls apart.
That is where that last episode ended. If I remember, we kind of got the information. We got out of hell.
We got the information, because we left hell, went back to Games Keep, kind of just chilled for a little bit, and then we were getting ready to go to the Valley of Kings.
Yes, to the Valley of Kings.
The Kings Canyon.
Yes, we're dropping hot, boys. In the words of my favorite Apex team, which consists of me, Ryan, and Grant, the amount of times you will hear us go, "We're dropping butthole," is absurd. Because on every map in Apex, there is one funnel-shaped thing that you could drop down the center of.
That you could drop, yep.
And so that is our call out for that location. But yeah,
yes, Miriam Azima. That's the name of the lady in the void place.
And then I should do a quick mention. This past Monday, as you said earlier, we did not stream a main campaign episode. We streamed what was intended to be a Patreon episode, but DJ was a sick boy, so we instead streamed that on Twitch. It was the Scare Bears episode, DM'd by Grant. Grant is a DM.
He certainly is.
Also, goodbye, Anki. Thank you for stopping by. That was a one shot.
That was a one shot.
That was something else.
I honestly had a grand old time.
Oh, I loved it.
I started watching it and I forgot how funny it was.
Like it was so. I love Grant DMing because it's so different. Like it's the same feeling that I get with like new players to Dungeons and Dragons, where they just aren't constrained by the rules because they don't know what they are.
Right.
They have
make up stuff.
Such brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
And like cool things that they do and concept, like I'm just gonna throw a fight that is going to make you guys kind of look like villains because of how easily you kill these people. Like that's such a cool thing. I really liked it. I thought that it was very well done.
It was great.
Loved playing Clunky.
The theatrics that Grant had was was good. It was tasteful.
The story was so wholly original. It's perfect. I've never seen.
Yeah,
he should write
original
a book.
Thought. It's just.
So if you all haven't seen that one shot, definitely stop on by. And if you like that kind of stuff, definitely check out our Patreon, because that's where we stream the weird episodes.
The weird stuff.
Yeah, that's where we get kind of wacky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all of the episode stuff. I'll be 100% honest, Drew. I need to finish prepping for the one shot tonight.
For tonight, yeah.
So would it be? Is there anything else that you would like to do before we go, or am I free
Oh
to
boy.
call it?
Anything else I would like to talk about? Well, so I mean, I suppose the only other thing I would like to mention is so I commissioned art from Lydia. A
Oh
few different
yeah,
arts from Lydia. Uh because so with Cather like retaking his oath and gaining a cool new sword, and then also kind of gaining his fancy new armor breastplate thing. I'm like, ooh, that's all kind of interesting. Hey Lydia, I'm going to pay you to make new arts because I want it. And she sent me over a couple sketches, a couple in progress things. I'm like, ooh, yeah.
nice.
I'm so excited. In well, who knows? I mean, it'd probably be it's probably going to be another 2 weeks before like 2 weeks in real life before in game we get to a point that like we're getting like Cather's sword so I can
Yeah.
like describe it and stuff. But I'm excited. I'm real
Oh yeah,
excited.
and Lydia works fast too.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Um,
Anyway, Maz says he has a question.
yes, Maz. Please proceed with the question. Also, unfortunately, I do not think that Cat Maid Cather
Did you commission a
is
better
fully
detailed
canon.
cat made one?
Okay.
No, I did not commission a better cat made outfit for Cather. That
I mean,
was
we do need to
Lydia.
get you
Lydia
one in
said to
canon.
me, "What?
We do need to get you one in canon.
A cat made outfit in canon?"
Yes. Also, for the convergence, you should cosplay as Cat Maid Cather.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. I can't make it to the
You
convergence.
should just take a picture and we'll take it with us.
I just.
Tell you what, we'll take a. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get a cardboard cutout of a cat maid, and I'm
Okay,
going to just slap your face on
on
the
it.
cardboard cutout and carry it around with me. Like, oh, Drew's right here with us, cosplaying as Cat Maid Cather. Um, Maz, as answer to your question, anything that is any type of wizard with at least 2 levels in fighter is going to be very good. Um, Track also would rock a cat maid outfit, no doubt. That would be the most terrifying thing in the world.
Dude, imagine Smite Night together
Yeah, Smite Knight
as cat
with
mates.
cat maids.
Oh my goodness,
Um,
dude!
but
Straight
yes,
up,
Maz,
like Asmodeus could never.
I think it's a very good multi-class. Blade Singer is already incredibly strong. Fighter gives you the ability to cast 2 spells in a turn as an action,
Yeah, dude.
and gets you all sorts of really good stuff. So having 3 Eldritch Knight and 12 Wizard is going to be very good. Um, is that everything that you have for today?
Yes, that's all I had.
Okay. Here we go. Getting back in the swing of it.
Yeah, meowing.
Here's some plugs.
Oh, he's got to get ready. He's got to gear up.
Behold efficiency. We have social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. They aren't currently generating a whole lot of content, but they will be, so you should check them out. We also have a Discord. On that Discord, you can get a bunch of cool stuff, especially if you're a subscriber. Sometimes we release subscriber-only stuff on there, and it's the only way that you'll know whether or not Table Scraps is going live, because that's where I post everything. We have a website, www.thepaperton.com, where we have a merch store, and on that merch store you can buy cool merch that has our logo on it and other cool stuff like that. Speaking of merch stores, Lydia Corinne, who does all of our art, we've mentioned her as well, and you can commission art from her that is your own custom art. She does shirts, she does pillows, she does other stuff on her website. It's really cool. She does all of our overlays, all of our character art. She's very good at her job, and you should pay her money for cool art. Other than that, if you want to support us in other ways, we have multiple ways you can do that. We have a Ko-Fi, we have a Streamlabs donation, we also have a Patreon. On that Patreon, we release at least one monthly extra episode that you can watch, and it's a good time. And theoretically, as time continues, we will add more to that Patreon and have more options available. That is all the plugs that I have for you today. I'm pretty dang good at it. Also, I am incredibly disappointed that we do not have a full Grotz-sized body pillow.
Someday.
It's a travesty. It's a crime. We could make so much money. But that is my bit for the day. Drew, do you have any last words?
No. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with Aaron and I for a little bit.
Thank you for being here, Drew. It is good to have someone to talk to on this talk show. Makes my life a lot easier. As for the rest of you, the only thing that I have remaining to say to you today is the same thing that I say every week when I'm live. Good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you next time, Dungeoneers. It has been a blast. Goodbye, everybody.